Well, hey, I'm Paul Van Sickle with 104.5 Way FM, and we are excited that Casting Crowns is coming to town with the Very Next Thing tour. Matt Maher is going to be along with them, as well as Hannah Kerr, and that's Friday, September 30th. It's going to be at Moda Center, Theater of the Clouds. 7 p.m. is the start time, and tickets are available now at wayfm.com. And I'm excited and honored to have Mark Hall joining us today on the phone. Mark, thanks for making the time for us today, as I know you guys are getting ready to hit the road.
Thanks, Paul. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I am excited to see you guys. It's been almost probably 10 years since I've seen you guys in concert. Specifically, I don't know how I've missed you the different places I've been, but I think Kansas City
And
like 10 years ago.
I was only like 16 then, so I'm grown up now.
I know,
great.
me too. It's good.
Now, did I hear you right, or did you say Theater in the Clouds?
Theater of the Clouds. Close.
Of
Yes,
the
that
Clouds.
is, yes, Theater of the
Second
Clouds.
coming kind of a concert here.
Yeah. It's going to be a very heavenly experience.
That's right.
Yeah, we have the fog machines all the time just to make it look like you're sitting above it. So be prepared for
That's great.
a little extra oxygen. Yeah, that's how they describe part of Moda Center. That's where the Blazers play. It's the big arena, and they set it up for certain concerts, and they call that Theater of the Clouds. So we're, again, glad to have you guys come in. And let's talk a little bit about The Very Next Thing, new album. It's out
man.
now. People can get it. It's what the tour's going to be kind of focusing on. So what is The Very Next Thing?
Well, all of our songs come from what we're pouring into teenagers and families through student ministry. So Thrive, that whole record, Thrive is just the name of our Wednesday night Bible study. So we were just trying to draw a picture for young believers of digging deep in the Word and reaching out. And that's what a believer should look like. And I think a lot of times with believers, we kind of struggle a little bit with what it means to follow God every day. Because what you hear is, man, we're all about these big declarations. I'm going to go all in for Jesus, and we're going to be on fire for Him, and we're going to do whatever it takes. And it all sounds great, but I just think we're all kind of wondering, what do I do next? And one of the things that we've talked through for years with our teenagers is what following Jesus looks like. And following Jesus, to me, when I look at it in Scripture, is, Lord, I love you so much, I'll do the very next thing you say. Whatever it is you want me to do, I will do. Because it's hard to say I'm going to follow you for the rest of my life, but can I say, Lord, I'm giving you my life, but right now I'm starting with my very first step. You want me to go sit by that person? I'll go sit by that person and love the unlovable. You want me to start a ministry that helps kids? I'll start a ministry that helps kids. You want me to forgive somebody? I'll forgive somebody. It's just starting. And I think a lot of us as believers are still kind of stuck on the starting block, going, okay, I'm just going to sit around and read and rejoice in how saved I am, when it might be time for the book of Acts to show up in your story, and it might be time to start moving forward and worshiping Him with our lives.
And I love that too, because it's kind of twofold when you think about those big declarations of, one, that can get overwhelming to think about the rest of your life, or it makes it where, especially I remember with teenagers, and I think even as adults, some of us get here too, of when we do screw up, thinking about, okay, we just have to make that next move. It's not that, oh, we screwed up and now it's over. And I feel like especially teenagers in the church can feel that pressure. And I like that the very next thing you do, that's really what's important.
Well, in the record, the way we walk through it is all of these were really little Bible studies and devotions and different kind of moments as we were teaching through. And for me, we're all in a different stage of next. So the current song that's out there right now is the song One Step Away, and it deals with the times that we feel stuck. And a lot of believers feel stuck. We feel like we've made too many mistakes, we've fallen down too many times, and in order to get to God now, we've got to somehow go back and try to undo some things and kind of become the person we used to be. But when you do start reading the Word, you see that Jesus never asked anyone to go back and undo anything. He asked them to follow Him from where they are. So really, following Jesus is just following Him from right where you are and doing the very next thing He says.
Some of the songs on the album obviously were inspired while you were going through your time of dealing with kidney cancer and your diagnosis and going through that process. For a lot of artists too, it's a kind of a snapshot of where you were at the time when you're writing, and like you said, the Thrive, it's where you're at with your youth group and stuff like that. How is that starting to perform those songs now that you're writing through that time? What is that any feel any different than any other songs that you've written in the past and then performed? Does it bring up certain things for you specifically?
Well, I think, songwriters definitely, we bleed through our lyrics, and that's kind of how we hurt and deal with things. And I've had many songs through my time as a believer and as a pastor, just getting things out, and that's always been a part of what I've done. But this song, "Oh My Soul," that's the song that I started writing the night that I found out I had cancer. And the very first scripture to pop in my head was, "Oh soul, why are you weary?" You just remind yourself, put your hope in God. Why so downcast? That thought that David had, where he was kind of talking to himself, and saying, look, there's a difference between what you feel right now and the God that you know. And you need to go with the God that you know. Storm winds are going to blow, but you've got to go with what you know right now. And that song is extremely personal to me, and because it's my story.
For listeners out there, if you want to hear even more about that, Mark was recently on with Carlos and Joy, and there's a great video up there at wayfm.com. Or if you haven't heard Mark's whole story about the diagnosis of the cancer, he has an extended live interview that he did with Wally that's also there. There's a video at wayfm.com. You've had a lot of fun in our studios lately.
Yes, I have. I even meowed a song.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how many times I've ever meowed a song before, but Wally has a way of getting it out of you.
He does. I don't know. Something about, I don't know, that glimmer in his eye. And
you can tell when he has an idea. You're like, oh, no, here it goes.
And you're gracious enough to let him get away with that. So we thank you for that. It makes for good radio and good YouTube. That's for sure.
That's right.
Well, and just talking more about, your songwriting process and really, again, the place that people don't know that, you are still active in ministry. And I think that's a huge influence. And you even said it on your music, but people might not have known that. How has that been continuing to work in youth ministry and kind of the church life and having that group balanced with, when you're out on tour and everything?
Right. Well, I just celebrated 15 years at Eagles Landing. I've been here at Eagles Landing First Baptist in South Atlanta for that long, and I've been a youth pastor for about 20 years, and still what I want to do when I grow up. And to me, if we weren't in the church, we wouldn't have the songs, because all the members of Crowns work in student ministry, all of us. So we're all poured into families all through the week, and so we'll travel mainly just Thursday, Friday, and Saturday when we're on the road, and then we'll be home Sunday through Wednesday. So we're leading worship in our church on Sunday morning, and we're poured into families all through the week. And it's we've always known that the church is part of what we do, and probably the main part of what we do, and it still is.
Mm-hmm. I kind of put a Facebook thing out there from the Peanut Gallery. I said, hey, if there's anything you could ask Mark, what would you do? There was a local pastor, John, that wanted me to ask you about if there was any kind of lesson that you could share about doing ministry as a team, to either something that you guys have been through or learned just working as a team, knowing that, you guys are together a lot, teamwork in ministry. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, I think early on in ministry, I thought that I was supposed to be good at all of it because I was the leader. So I tend to be threatened by people that had gifts that I didn't have. So since I'm more creative, obviously the organized people are going to freak me out a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to wear on their nerves, So that would be a very simple picture of how we've got to recognize the beauty in the gifts of others, that God put us together on purpose to work together. And if we'll work together, you have something that, you have an event that's creative and everyone knows when it starts. So if you come together, but a lot of times I would push people away because I felt threatened, because I didn't have the gifts that they had, and I didn't want to look like a bad leader. But really, a good leader builds a team of people that have the gifts that he doesn't have, so that together they can get something done. And that's been a lesson that, I wish I would have just learned from reading somewhere, but I think I've learned it from doing it the wrong way.
One of the things that I'm looking forward to on seeing you guys in this tour too is just the other people that are going to be there with you as well, Matt Maher and Hannah Kerr. From just a musical and a lyric standpoint, between you guys and Matt Maher, that's a lot of theologically rich melodies coming through. You know what I mean? Like this is gonna be, it's an incredible night, of music and it's a worship, but with the way you guys are too, there's not a lot of, I guess, musical theological fluff in what you guys are doing. Yeah. And it's gonna be a powerful night for, I think, believers that are there and non-believers to really understand, a lot of truly who God is in not just a life way, but a really biblical way. Talk about, I guess, some of that through you guys, but then also teaming up, with Matt Maher, who does a lot of great stuff like that too.
Yeah, I really like Matt. He's a thinker, and his words are weighty. There's a lot of meat there, and I'm a lyric guy, so that matters to me. We've been friends for years and written a song together, and so it's really going to be fun to sit around at lunch and just pick stuff apart. I like to get into little think tank conversations where we're all trying to figure out, all of us in our little fishbowl trying to figure God out, But it's fun to, for iron to sharpen iron a little bit and just, pick apart each other's brains some and get into the Word, and those kind of things are good for me.
Mm-hmm. And one of the other Facebook questions we had came from Connie, who also said, I think maybe the last time you guys were in town, or a couple years ago, she had the privilege of meeting you guys and took some pictures and autographs, and she said you guys were just fantastic, and she appreciated the way that you, interact with your fans. So just wanted to, give you some props on that.
Oh, cool.
But she said, this is going to kind of put you on the spot, but if there was one song that kind of encapsulates for you the message of God's love, that if you had one song to sing to either people that don't necessarily believe in God or even to believers that really focuses on what God's love means, what would that one song be? Could be yours or somebody else's.
Oh, well, I assumed you were thinking one of ours, so it totally opened up a whole library if you say everybody else's. So just for ours.
Yeah, let's go with yours.
Anytime that we're gonna sing somewhere, and I know like it's a fair or it's an event where people who may not be believers would be with us for, I'm going to gravitate towards Who Am I, East to West, Glorious Day, songs that I know are explaining the love of God and that He takes you from where you are. So those are going to be the ones. And there's a song on our new record, the very last song on the record, and it's called Loving My Jesus. And it's just a really simple little prayer song about how much Jesus loves us. So it'd be a song like that there's no way for it to be misunderstood.
And again, the new album is called The Very Next Thing. It is available now, and that's also the name of the tour that's coming. We'll be here in Portland on September the 30th, which happens to be my birthday, so I'm excited that you guys are coming in just for that. It's like my own personal concert party. A couple thousand of people that were invited from here in Portland. So that's going on. Again, tickets are available at wayfm.com. One more lighter question from Facebook, from Annalise. Wanted to know if you guys have actually, as a group, casted crowns, and if so, who threw it the furthest?
We have not, so I guess that needs to be our next outing together.
I don't know, and it actually may. I was like, oh, that's a great ticket winning contest. I might have to go out in the van and try that next time. So, all right, there we go. That's a good one. And then a final question from Mark from Facebook. What are you listening to right now? Do you have anybody on your iPod or anybody that you've been checking out besides getting your own record ready to get out there?
Well, I just got my own CD for the first time yesterday, so I've been listening to that a little bit. Got it from the bookstore.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I listen to NF, a new Christian rapper. I'm listening to Holland right now, and I think that's it for in here at the moment. But I like Jesus in my rock and roll, so as long as it's pointing to the one, that I'll rock with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Mark Hall again from Casting Crowns joining us today here on Portland's 104.5 Way FM. They're coming to town on September 30th, and Mark, thanks so much for taking time, and just blessings on you guys and safe travels, and we look forward to seeing you here on the 30th.
Thank you, my friend.